to help with this video. We're going to try to put this on YouTube and then onto Altivolo. What I'm going to try to teach you this morning is the transferring of good reading into good writing. GCSE English revision for your exam on Tuesday. Just some objectives. What features can we see in titles and opening paragraphs that engage the reader? And how can we steal and adapt these to make our opening paragraphs more engaging to the examiner reading them? What you have to do is in that question, that reading question about language, you have to comment about what the author is saying. I'm then going to suggest to you that you can steal this model of practice and use it in your own writing. Taking the article from that I want to work on, from something that appeared in The Independent, I haven't succeeded at love, a rare audience with rap legend P. Diddy. Tell me, Jake, what do you notice about that title?
It's a quote, and then it's followed by a comment.
It's a quote followed by a comment. What's it separated by?
A colon.
The colon. Okay. Successful title?
Yeah.
Why?
It's effective.
It's effective. Why?
Because it's different. Like there's a quote, and then it's like explaining it, and then in your answer you'd put an answer to it.
Okay. Let's go back to the quote. I haven't succeeded at love. Why is that a good quotation that would interest a reader? Yeah.
Because he's a rapper and a lot of people know who he is, so if he says something like that and no one really expects it, it's kind of, you expect someone to get the girls and because they have money.
Right, so he's a man with wealth and power and yet he's failed at something. Put your hands up if you're interested in other people's love lives. Right. I'm desperately interested in other people's love lives. It's salacious gossip. And this is what the journalist has used. I haven't succeeded at love. So he's a powerful man. He's failed at something. And it's intriguing the reader to get them engaged with reading the article. Comment on the use of this word here. Rare. Lee?
A rare suggests that there's not many of them, so it's kind of exclusive to the paper. So it would mean that if you don't read it now, you might not see it again.
Excellent. Excellent. So all of that, the point I want to make to you is you've made all of those points about 2 lines of a title. You make all of those points about 2 lines of a title in your reading answer about language, you will do well. Students generally miss the obvious things about a title. So analyse the title of anything you are reading. This is what I've tried to do here. I haven't succeeded at love, a rare audience with rap legend P. Diddy. The quotation from P. Diddy is confessional. It's a good word. What's it mean?
Well, he's confessed. I don't know what the other
Okay. Well, P. Diddy is confessional. He's confessed about his failings at his love life, so we're all interested. Even the great multi-million-pound rapper has failed at something, and the reader will be tempted by the prospect of reading about his failed love life. The use of the word rare also gives the article a quality that the newspaper readership will find special. If you go to the quality of that, if you wrote that in that answer to language use, what would the examiner be thinking? It's good. You're going to get 3 or 4 marks on any language question by an answer like that, and you've only then analysed the title. Okay, this is what the article then says. Would you just like to read it for a moment? like to comment on in the article? Megan?
It starts with a question and then an answer as if like he's being interviewed, but it's a full article.
Okay, as if he's been interviewed. Right, what sort of question is it?
A rhetorical question.
It's a rhetorical question, so what does that do with the reader?
Makes you want to read on to get the answer to it.
To get the answer to it, so okay. Now what does this journalist actually do? We often talk about rhetorical questions, but what does this journalist actually do?
He answers the question.
He does answer the question, he specifically answers the question, but he actually codes it. He quotes it. Question, colon. How much does a rap mogul pay for his cardigans? Answer, $2,500. That's £1,600. I know this fact because Sean Coombs, the hip-hop hyphenate, variously known as Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, and more recently, plain old Diddy, has just instructed his wardrobe man, Dave, to lend me an item of knitwear to cope with the sub-zero temperatures in the Mojave Desert, where he's making the video track yesterday from his new album, Last Train to Paris. Its price tag flutters in the breeze. Make sure you give it back, says Dave, and try not to get it dirty. What impression do you get of P. Diddy from that introduction?
He's a nice man who's very generous.
He's a nice man who's very generous because
He gives a scarf to a journalist.
he gives a cardigan to a
Yeah.
journalist. Okay, what else do you notice about him?
He seems normal.
Does he?
Yeah.
He seems normal. Go on.
He's very, like, high with his appearance, because obviously if he's spending that much on, like, a scarf or whatever he said, so, and because it says, and try not to get dirty, means he wears it a lot, because if he didn't, then...
Okay. But who says he tries not to get it dirty?
Dave.
Dave. And who's Dave?
Wardrobe.
The wardrobe man. So Puff Daddy says, there, lend my cardigan. Or so, there, you can borrow my cardigan, I beg your pardon. But Dave, the wardrobe master, who he has been employed to look after his clothes, says, yes, you may wear it, but don't get it dirty. So Puff Daddy is patently a bloke who is very powerful to employ a wardrobe master. He can be very generous, but actually he's got somebody backing him up and looking after him. If I was to comment on this, these are the sorts of comments I think I might make. Just read that. Anybody want to comment about anything that is particularly good about that answer?
When he said about the critical view of Peter, because he's mentioned that, like, if you answered that in the exam, then you'd get marks because you noticed that he is saying it's like one-sided, sort of, he's not going to both sides.
You've realised the connotations within the article.
Go on.
Because you've talked about that he's in control, because you've known that from him giving away the cardigan but making sure his wardrobe man gets it back.
Yeah.
And then you've said that that might be one of his failings of his love life. So that's a connotation.
Yeah. Does this journalist start directly talking about his love life?
No.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't talk about his love life. The title has sort of conned the reader into reading something that's not actually that confessional about his love life. But there are implications behind it, that this is a bloke who's generous. He can hand out a cardigan for somebody's lent, but somebody will be round the back of him looking after him to make sure the cardigan comes back to him. Anybody that powerful might have something of a problem with their love life because he's always got somebody behind him tidying up after him. Just comment on this, please. The journalist is giving something of a critical view of Puff Daddy. He is engaging the reader whilst informing them. What's important about that last two lines?
You say what the purpose is of the article.
Absolutely. You are saying what the purpose of the article is, and I think that is very important when doing a language-based answer. You can only work out what he's doing, what the intention is, from what you read. But you must comment to the examiner on that. So, how can we use this to sort out our own writing? And these are just some things that I think we could steal. The title, a quotation, which of course you could make up. Of course you can lie in an English exam, but a quotation with a colon that separates, a quotation and a comment with a colon that separates it. A rhetorical question in the article, quotations, brackets, complex sentences defined by commas. And I thought what we should do is we should apply it to a GCSE type writing question. I thought about this one. Write an article for a magazine about school meals. They will often give you a question that is an article about, from a school magazine. They will definitely make it something you know about. Every student in the country knows about school. So this would be a good type of question. This one happens to be about school meals. It could be about anything to do with school. After you've planned it, what you would do, this is my answer. Oh no, not pasta again. The lack of choice in school meals. Would that be a good title to an article about school meals?
Yes.
Tell me why.
There's a range of punctuation in the title which shows you quality of writing techniques straight away.
There's a range of punctuation which an examiner will look for. You've got it in the title. The examiners tick that box, this person knows how to punctuate. Go on.
The quotation,
Yeah.
it's immediately think it's, child who's just really unhappy with doing it.
It makes you think it's a child. If it was a more complex article, you would probably have to state who is saying that. But from this, it's quite obvious who's saying it. It's a group of kids. Yeah, I think that's good. This is what I've done there. Question, and I've stolen it deliberately from that article we just read. Question, colon, how much does a decent school meal cost? Answer, colon, £1.70. Look what's in brackets then. Humour. Yeah. If you want a seriously good cake, not just an ordinary cake, a seriously good cake, and then something completely unhealthy, a packet of crisps. Okay? Look at this quote at the end. Why would that impress an examiner?
You've used teacher, so instead of it being about kids, giving another insight of what it's like.
Okay. You use the head teacher. No, you're entirely right. It gives a new insight. It's a quote from the head teacher. You might choose to name the head teacher. You might choose to name me. Doesn't matter. The examiner would be impressed by that. But the quote is entirely made up. I've never said that in my life. I don't really care about school meals, if I'm entirely honest. I've got better things to do if I am entirely honest. But you can make that up. Let's try this. What I'd like you to do is I would like you to write just an opening introduction using that format, stealing those techniques. And the question is, a school article, an article about what a school can do to improve. So you could choose school meals, you could choose any other issue you are interested in.